Hello everyone, LRon here with part 101 of my Total Terraria World Annihilation. So we're back to one screening, just as I said last video, and wow, I don't think I've actually seen myself do hammering at one screen before. That axe is going bloody fast. Wow, this totally looks different here on my preview pane. Well, I guess technically speaking also, when you have 9 videos going simultaneously in the preview pane, I'm only getting like a frame per minute anyways, so there's no good gauge on how this ends up looking until after actually rendering. But wow, once I go back to one screen, wow, that's just blitzkrieg. I wish that it would go this fast in real life. That would have been so much more fun. Alright, well I should probably contain myself now. Okay. So let's see. I think I had another point I wanted to make, but I got distracted here by the speed of the 4x axe. Let's see, what could I have possibly wanted to say? Um, this was one of the things, not the primary thing, but I would like to thank those of you who have stuck it out and watched all 101 of these. It's certainly been a long, bumpy road. It's also been a considerably longer project than I first estimated and heralded. So I would certainly like to thank the diehards that stuck with it, even though it's obviously went well beyond my time budget expectations. Um, it's actually extremely funny. I get at some point to a point where I reach the center. It's like I only need to loop down one or two more times, but it's like approaching noon, and they say that values change when hunger or ambition strikes, and well, let's just say I certainly had lunch ambitions, so both hunger and ambition striked pretty heavily. So I didn't dare continue on and do the additional, let's see, looks like it was about 4 minutes here, which would have been actually only 16 minutes. That wouldn't have been too bad. I probably could have held out. But of course, at this point, I'm still in that mindset that, a cycle takes a considerable amount of time, even though we're down here in the hell level where there's really not that much to mine, which means it's a lot of moving quickly. Um, but I guess I wasn't really looking at the time enough to get a good gauge of how quickly I was zipping along in the hell region. So, um, hunger and lunch ambitions certainly came and trumped my need to finish it in that particular sitting, so I did end up stopping probably once we get to the center, moving eastward. That was generally my formula, stop at the center, moving eastward. So since we're moving westward, it's not going to be until we turn around and go halfway back. Um, that convention actually stemmed from the idea that we're not starting at an endpoint in the world, because I had already killed off all the teleporters and I didn't want to go through the hassle of re-enabling teleporters. So I needed a convenient way to start from the middle that didn't end up causing loss in coverage. So I just came up with that as my convention. I'll always be moving east when I start, and end up going east with the west side of it already covered. So that's how I get my 60 feet of blocks figured in for a single cycle. Because I make my trip east to finish off the half a row that was done in the previous session, or previous session, and then go all the way west, and then come back east far enough to get to the center. Um, so not much left at this point. Um, there was some of these structures that went all the way down to true bottom, which I found to be kind of interesting because I don't think that normally happens too frequently, or at least it didn't back in 1.2. So actually going through and hammering all the way did make sense. Um, and then I come across an interesting situation where there's a single block of lava, because I think the world is slightly bigger than the playable area. So there are blocks that are beyond what we can see that seem to replenish as well. So I'm generally not too worried about those because I've taken out everything that's inside the playable, seeable area. But every now and then, it seems like the bottom of hell bleeds a little bit of lava from outside of the play area, just kind of flows in. Not enough to even burn you, it's just enough to see that it's there. So for good measure, I do go with one more sweep with the drill containment unit and skim the post-bottom layer. And that'll be coming up pretty soon, since we're going towards the east on the very bottom. So at this point, total Terraria world annihilation has been achieved, and I'm trying to get rid of the lava through water, and it's not working. And I take a look, marvel at everything, and I think those were post-bottom things I was noticing on the map. So I was like, alright, let's go and have a sweep. So I'm going along and cutting up everything. There were a few regions that didn't have anything, so I found that to be kind of odd, but in any case, it is outside of the scope of the project. So right now we're kind of just having a victory lap, since hammering was so boring. We get to end with drilling. And so this is pretty much it, for the total Terraria World Annihilation bits, but I recommend that you stick around for the epilogue, just for fun. I'll try to keep it short, but no promises. Hopefully I'll see you there.